All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Garden State Grow Show. Very excited for today's guest. We have Nicole Perone of CrossCountry Mortgage and Team Perone. She named it after herself. I know people that do that.
Yep.
By way of Ocean Township. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, what's going on in your world? How'd you end up in the mortgage business?
What is not going on? It's been a fun journey, 20 years.
Whoa.
And, everyone that gets in the mortgage industry, it's funny. It just happens by accident. It's some random person you meet or some interaction you end up having that you're like, okay, I'll give this a shot. So it really happened by chance. I had an incredible mentor in the business, which is huge for anyone that's looking to get into mortgage or real estate.
Yeah.
So started with a small brokerage, and then I spent over a decade with Wells Fargo, grew my career there can't believe I was 25 when I started with them, and then grew my career from a producer to someone that was leading big teams in New Jersey for private mortgage, and then in New York City, which is amazing. And then 2 years ago came over to CrossCountry Mortgage. It's been amazing.
So give us an idea of like the volume you guys do on average per year.
So our team at CrossCountry Mortgage, I'm part of the Carbon team, will do probably close to $2 billion in funded mortgage volume this year.
Wow. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
That'll do it.
It is pretty good. It is. Yeah. And I always say that's how the name $1 Billion Banker came about.
Yeah.
Because I've been a part of managing, leading, and producing within $1 billion groups. So it's pretty incredible.
And in today's market, mortgage, industry is getting crushed the last couple of years with these high rates. What do you think kind of sets yourself apart from other mortgage brokers, and how do you think you keep getting repeat business?
Yeah, I'm very proud to say that CrossCountry Mortgage is the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. Wow. We do 1 out of every 35 home loans. So as you're driving down the street and you pass 35 houses, you'll know one of them was financed by someone from our group. It's an incredibly well-run company, great culture. And we love what we do. We have over 100 investors that we work with. So that makes a big difference. I think the most important thing in the mortgage market today is you got to know what options are out there. Mm-hmm. So, whether you're an investor or someone looking for commercial, residential, there are so many options out there. So when you land at one shop, you're only going to really get kind of one option. And really that's kind of what comes in the retail bank space. But when you're talking about working with brokers or correspondent lenders, it really opens up a lot of opportunity.
Are you guys a broker, or are you funding your own loans?
That's a good question. We are a correspondent lender, so we're really a banker. We can broker business, but we just don't have to most times.
Correspondent, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
You want to be a correspondent, right?
Yeah.
Gives you more options.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It gives you a little bit more. I mean, look, there's plenty of great brokers out there, and they have plenty of control because they do a lot of business. But predominantly you'll hear, and what I tell people is that we process, underwrite, close, and fund the loans in-house with our team that work for us. When you broker a deal, you're really taking it and you're sending it out to that company that you're brokering it to. They process, underwrite, close.
Rocket Mortgage.
Right. So
United Wholesale.
Right. Like I could tell you, there's companies that sometimes I'll look at the rates and I'm like, wow, these rates are amazing. But I know the process is going to be horrendous. And so if it's a condo, the rate might be tempting, but I'll tell the client, look, we can go this route and you might get an eighth lower, but you're going to be tortured. The condo building review process is going to be a nightmare. So it's important to know what the benefits are of each lender.
I always tell buyers, and Greg, I'm sure you're the same way, it's like, don't make it all about the rate when you're just buying a house. It should be about service, because you can always refinance later. Right. Sure. Especially like a condo. People don't realize how hard it is to close on a condo. It's not going to be a 2-week process.
No, definitely not. And also you're going to be this is one of the most stressful things you're going to be doing in your life is buying a home or an investment property and that kind of stuff. So might as well actually enjoy the process and really get a good service with it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think I tell clients a lot of times, it's like when you're hiring an attorney, right? Do you want to hire the attorney that's in your town that has been practicing law for 20 years, or do you want to go to LegalZoom? You could save a ton of money, or like you're getting a facelift or renovating your home. Like you could probably get it done for cheap. You could get that $20,000 facelift, or you can get the $100,000 one. There's a difference. There's a difference in service. I remember I just had a client recently. I pre-approved when I was in the Bahamas on a Sunday, and he won the bid because we pre-approved him. And then come Tuesday, I'm back home, and he's like, "Hey, I got a rate from Quicken, and
Yeah,
you know,
and,
Of course you did.
and I'm like, listen, buddy, I was in the Bahamas enjoying myself by the pool, stopped what I was doing, helped you win that bid. Like you wouldn't have talked to Quicken on a Sunday. It doesn't happen.
I know.
So we're 24/7. We're always available. We have a full service team, and you know, every client has an incredible story, right? Isn't it amazing getting to know these customers and what they're looking to do? And so we love it.
Yeah. So that's what you're doing now. Well, let's go back.
Yeah.
To your first job ever.
Sure. What was my first? My first.
It could have been off the books. So don't think W-2.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Not here.
Sure. That's a different podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So my first job ever. Well, you know, my parents ran a business. They were entrepreneurs.
What'd they do?
They have a motel in Point Pleasant Beach. My mother and my stepdad. So that was really cool to get to grow up in a very entrepreneurial home. My mom was a realtor. My dad was in construction.
So you were right there.
It's funny now. I'm in lending and construction. It's really interesting.
It's a good family business, let me tell you.
Yes, yeah. So, and we probably should at some point talk about, I do own a construction company as well called New Jersey Construction, but my first job ever was selling knives. Have you heard of
Cutco?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Isn't that
so
incredible?
many people started there in sales.
I don't know. I don't even remember how it happened, but I was at Monmouth University and like somebody came around talking about how these knives were so amazing. I went to this thing and they didn't even realize I was 17 and I wasn't even supposed to be working for them. But I sold so many knife sets to all of my, you know, wealthy friends' parents. I'm like, you got to check these. I'm throwing apples in the air.
Really?
Half.
Chef shit?
Yeah, I was like a ninja. I mean, so I always kind of had sales in my DNA. It was that was my first sales job. It was really fun. And then, you know, fast forward, a lot of bartending and waitressing and all that, you know, all the stuff that kind of got you to the cash as quick as you can get there. So
that's like 18 to 22 kind of time frame?
Yep.
Slinging drinks, cutting apples.
Okay. Exactly.
Good. Did you go to college?
Knives. Yes, I did go to Monmouth University and had no idea what I wanted to do. And I actually majored in communication, radio, television. And so it's fun how that's come full circle. I had Greg on the podcast and kind of blending these worlds all together.
I was also a comm major because I didn't know what to do.
There you go. Just a bunch of comm
gonna need
majors.
comm. We're gonna need comm. You know, well, my dad's like, "What is that? You're gonna know how to use a telephone?" I'm like, "Well, yeah,
sure."
Gosh, hindsight is so 2020, isn't it? But I you know, college was a great experience. But today.
So what'd you do after school?
After school, gosh, it was 2007. It was probably like the worst job market ever to get into,
especially late 2007.
And so I just was always very motivated by financial independence. It's the same reason why a lot of people get into commercial real estate investing. They want to create that freedom for their family and for their future. And so I was always, I never wanted to cap my success. And so I always had big dreams. I remember, let's like date myself here, right? I looked at the newspaper and it said, that makes me sound so old.
I have opened it up.
Yeah, like I opened up the newspaper on a Sunday morning, the newspaper boy came by. Yeah. Anyway, it said, make $100,000 a year, come to this sales training program. And I had no idea. I was so naive. I had no idea what it was. I went to the program, sat there for 3 days. They taught us all about sales, and they were like, "Hey, you know, now we want to offer you a position at this car dealership that we've hosted."
Nice.
I had no idea the whole time like that. I thought we were just at the car dealership just to
happens to be there. Yeah.
And then I got into the car business, and I learned a lot about what to do and what not to do.
What dealership?
Sansone Auto Mall.
Oh, shout out to Sansone Auto Mall. Maybe they'll be a sponsor of this podcast. We're looking for one.
Listen, aren't we all?
Sansone, if you're listening.
Yes. Shout out to Sansone. But yeah, it was a great experience. I quickly excelled. I was their internet sales manager. It was a lot of fun. I mean, selling cars is like, you probably, it's the biggest wall of defense is against a car salesperson. So breaking down those.
They have such a bad reputation, right?
Oh my God.
Maybe worse than realtors. I don't know. It's close. It's close.
Did you hear the stat about real estate agents?
Yes, I did.
I love this on podcasts. These are like the best clip. Did you ever hear? Right?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Good call to action.
Exactly.
Good hook.
Last year, 1.3 million agents across the country last year. 70% of them closed 0 deals.
Ooh,
So
I
if
did
you
see
closed
that.
1 deal in real estate, you are the top 30%.
Boom,
And
nailed
you
it.
better start marketing that. If you closed 10 or more deals, you're the top 4% of agents in America.
Wow.
So, and you know what? The crazy thing is, it's not this. The stats not too different when it comes to mortgage professionals.
Yeah.
If you look at what 50% of them are doing today, this is an industry that takes a lot of grit, a lot of hard work, and it's the same when it comes to investing in real estate. It takes a lot of sacrifice today for tomorrow. Right?
You're always on, it seems like, and you're doing so many different things. That's the only way to do 2 billion in 1 year.
If
Like
you could
speed.
go in a time machine and give yourself advice when you started that car dealership sales job, what would it be?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard question.
I know I told you no hard questions. But
Yeah, you did say that.
Psych.
That's a bunch of
just
bullshit.
kidding.
I'm not sure I
It was
can-
all bullshit before this.
Yeah, I mean, if I could give myself, I think, any advice in general, it's to embrace be yourself, embrace your message. Don't, we have to care what people think to an extent, because reputation, like
Yeah.
if there's a one thing in business, it's relationships, right?
Absolutely.
And it is. And sometimes the ones that you don't even kind of really know yet how they're going to all pan out, but it's creating those relationships. So I would tell myself, be yourself, invest in relationships. I mean, and I think as my career has progressed, a lot of the people I do business with have became my friends. And I think that's like the coolest thing as you start to see that evolve. In the beginning, I really was more like, hey, business is business, personal is personal. And I separated those worlds a lot. I would say if you're getting into business, combine them, like put them together, figure out, work with people that you can like sit down and have a drink with and laugh, right?
Yeah.
That you enjoy.
Because
each other's
business
company.
is hard enough on its own. So it's
Yes.
like you don't want your partners to be hard too.
Mhm.
Just makes it
No.
impossible.
Especially
Plus-
especially with when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it's a
Yes.
very lonely type of lifestyle, if you will.
Right.
So if you have some people that are like-minded, that you actually can enjoy business and hanging out with and actually doing deals with, like makes the road a little bit easier.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I would also argue that you don't have time to have friends. So your
Yeah.
partners have to be your
Also
friends.
true,
That is so true. That is like
It's
so
family
true.
or work. That's
Yeah.
what it's-
It's like, hey, you're going to be my friend because I have no time to make any friends that don't want to talk about business. So,
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah, it's like all of our spouses, like God bless them,
Yeah.
right? Because they're
Oh,
like,
thank you.
we have to do another dinner with your
Yeah.
friends that you just talk about business the whole time.
I
But
know.
Exactly.
Try to land a deal.
Yeah. listen, I mean, it's great because but it's true that you're right. You don't have the time for it, but really, I think like if you're out there today, like that's where all the opportunity comes from those relationships. You got to focus on them.
Yeah. So we're at Sandstone Auto Mall for a few years. What's next?
Next was getting laid off.
Love that.
Because it was like
Congrats.
09 or 07, something like that.
Oh yeah, cars were
so-
down back then.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the worst. I can't
Why
believe
did I
this.
do this?
Like, why did I even go to school? My mom was like, you're selling cars? Like, we just paid for your college to it. Like, what are you doing? And but you know what? I think I got disheartened really early, for those of you that are out there today, like looking for the next thing. Sometimes what you think is and I knew the car business wasn't like my long-term plan.
Sure.
But I didn't really know what was next either. So getting laid off kind of gave me that opportunity to really think about it. And then
Reset.
that's when my resume was with a headhunter. And I landed at what was called the Mortgage Concierge Group with my initial mentor, who was great. And he taught me that, hey, live 50% below your means. There's a bunch of people in this business that had a great year and think that year is going to last forever. But there's so many things in our business that change, whether it's socioeconomic, political, right? There's so many things. It could be a hurricane. It wipes us out. A pandemic now. So we've had it all thrown our way. You got to just really be conservative with how you manage your money. And he taught me the relationships meant everything. And so that was kind of how I landed in the business through failure to some extent, right?
So that was your first like mortgage mentor?
Yeah, he was my
job?
first. Yep, taught me here's the roadmap. Go out. You follow this, you're gonna do great.
A lot of people get into real estate or mortgage and they don't have a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How important was it to have that?
It's literally everything. I think culture and environment, especially as a leader, it's so important to me because a lot of salespeople are being told like, hey, do more, do more, do more. They don't have the right people around them. They don't have the right opportunities, the right environment. And I always say every company has like an invisible ceiling, right? Look at who's the top producer in your organization? What are they doing? I'm not saying that means you want to be them or do that, but what it says is that's the potential, right?
Yeah.
So I talk to some people that work at brokerages or small companies, and I'm like, your top guy for the last 20 years running has done 50 million. Right. Well, we have top guys that are doing 500 million.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you want to do it. It just means the ceiling here is so much greater.
Right.
That means we're enabling people with the potential to succeed at a greater rate. So I think you got to look around and think about at some point you outgrow environments.
Yeah.
And so I outgrew him at some point and things changed for him. There's pros and cons to working for a small company. And then, as the world continues to change, as you continue to change, you have to really look at that, and you have to cherish those relationships and those opportunities, and keep it moving.
Do you still have the relationships that you built over at your first spot?
Yeah.
And still to this day?
Yeah. It was really hard for me to leave. Anyone that's ever, made a career transition, sometimes the hardest thing is leaving the people, right? It's like, you kind of know that maybe the company's not a fit, but the people are great. So I still, have a great relationship with him and everyone that was there to this day.
What made you decide to actually make that official jump to go to CrossCountry?
I think whenever I start to feel like my potential is limited or capped, I don't like that. Like you could say there's a theme here, like there's a ceiling, right? And I think what happens to a lot of people is they just kind of get comfortable. They're like, yeah, maybe there's all these things, but like, I know this place, I'm comfortable here. And change, it terrifies people. It just, and I understand that. I know how hard it is, but yeah, I felt like my potential was capped. I outgrew it. And I think we have to be real with ourselves when that happens. And then you make the next move. And then at some point after, I remember when I started with Wells Fargo, for anyone out there, like thinking about their dreams or what they want to do. I remember when I started, I was 25 and I always said like, one day I want to work in Manhattan. I want to run a team in Manhattan. Like that was my goal.
Yeah.
And it took me a little over a decade to achieve that, but I did. And, we were funding $1 billion in business and then $2 billion in business. Yeah. I had 53 people reporting to me. I was one of the first women to be a leader in Manhattan for the organization, which was great. And then I felt my potential was being capped again. And I think the world was changing. And so as the world changes, we need to change with it is really the crux of it, right? You got to keep moving.
Talk to us about real estate in Manhattan, what's the average, what was the average purchase price there?
Yeah. So for teams, that work at retail banks, obviously they're a little bit more, jumbo focused. So, average loan size that when I was with them was probably around 1.7.
Wow.
In the correspondent space, it's a little bit more product driven. We're probably more like 70 to 80% agency business, which goes all the way up to 800,000. But we're in beautiful homes across the city all the time. Tomorrow we're going to be in a $30 million, beautiful,
way.
I think it would be classified as like a brownstone. We're doing a shoot for American Dream TV with the Bogart team at Sirhan. So that's very exciting.
Pretty awesome.
I was just going to say, have you ever done any Sirhan deals?
Yeah, I work with a lot of Sirhan
cool.
agents. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're a great group.
Yeah. And are you involved in you do commercial deals as well?
Yeah, so we have commercial outlets. We have a lot of products that really kind of mirror how you qualify for commercial. So we have outlets for pretty much just about everything out there. The predominant focus of CrossCountry is residential lending, but we just launched a new 5-unit plus product, which is awesome. So for anyone that's looking for multifamily units, we have the ability to help people qualify without having to use income. People can just use assets. People could just use the rent roll, right, in the property. So instead of having to qualify with income, so similar to kind of how you'd work a commercial lending situation, we would get, a couple of years of tax returns at times. We don't look at them. We don't need to use them. You kind of validate that there's something happening there.
Yeah.
And then you're using the rent roll to qualify the client.
Put yourself in the shoes of someone looking to buy their first commercial property.
Yeah.
What would you focus on? Would you look at
Well, I would say you got to start by working with the right agent, right?
Yeah.
That's key. But, as far as lending is concerned,
Or me.
this guy right
Start with
here,
Greg.
these guys. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, especially when you just heard that stat, right? And then you have to make sure that you're working with a lending institution that's going to just really provide you with all your options.
Right.
So, commercial lending works a little bit different, obviously, than residential lending in the sense like we start with a personal financial statement. We take a look at that. And then it's really very dependent on the property, right? It's all about the property in commercial lending. So
Cash flow,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
it's all about the property. That's really what it's about. And then obviously that personal financial statement is kind of like the application on the residential side. So we collect kind of all the data on the client, all the data on the building, and then we can figure out who's interested in possibly investing here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you create the opportunity with the agent and the investor, and then you shop out and see who wants to fund this based on.
Correct. And then we would provide like an intent letter to them, kind of give some ideas around what financing would look like, and then move it forward.
The savvy investors that you're working with now, what are they looking at? Are they doing strip mall renovations? Are they doing?
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. We have a lot of investors that have a lot of multifamily units still. We could do markets all across the country, so every market kind of specializes in something different.
Yeah.
I have a lot of clients even on the residential side that I'll see that have commercial space that has restaurants in it, shopping plazas. Those seem to be catching a lot of steam. You'll hear people say like commercial is really the way to go when you think about investing because it's more business, right? You have longer leases, you have people that stay in place. The value of the property is really all about the increased kind of NOI on those opportunities, that location, how it's doing. So, where you're looking at residential investments, I think people like tend to go there first where you don't like
easier to grasp.
Right.
Seems like.
It's because they're on Zillow and they're like, I could buy that and rent it maybe, but they don't like run the numbers,
Right. Or maybe there's some misconceptions, right? About, I love mixed use properties. If the commercial space is less than the residential, just even by a little bit of square footage, we can do it as a residential deal. If the commercial space is more,
what's the ratio? 51-49?
Yeah.
Like, literally?
Literally.
No way.
Yep. So you can pass that by as residential, which is really cool. We have some great mixed use products. That seems to be catching a little bit of steam because kind of gives them like the best of both worlds to some extent. But yeah, we have clients that are doing really great. I have some clients that like their whole portfolio is just commercial real estate and they're living off of it.
Let's talk about New Jersey. Any counties or markets in New Jersey that you're seeing like a lot of growth potential? Maybe it's kind of under the radar.
Yeah, well, I think with Netflix coming to the Monmouth County area, that's a huge one. They're redoing the whole Monmouth Mall.
Yeah.
I think that's a Kushner project. That's going to be incredible.
I think Eatontown's going to be turning over,
Yep.
Saw some new condos there.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be amazing. I think it might be even more than we anticipate. I mean, that corridor on 35, there's a lot of opportunity right now, right? So if people are thinking about maybe, selling their property, I think you're positioned well right now. If I were you guys, I'd be running up and down that street.
Who wants to go?
Yeah, if you're listening, reach out to these guys. Yeah, I think that's.
What do you think the demand's going to be driving for? Like high-end restaurants or high-end retail, or what do you think's going to?
Yeah, we did a show on American Dream TV featuring Mike Tennyson, who's with Allison Hospitality Group. They're doing. So Fort Monmouth, where Netflix is going to be, I think it was split up by maybe nine different investors. I might be misquoting that, but each one of them kind of got like this parcel, and obviously Netflix has one. So like Mike, for example, with Allison Hospitality Group, they're doing a hotel, a wedding banquet center, a full commercial plaza with like, your pliables and like they have a huge pickleball court and or actually it's a padel court, one of the biggest padel courts. I still haven't gone there. A brewery. So you go and you play padel and then you drink.
Hold on. What's padel? I don't know what that is.
I still don't know.
So
it just looks different.
It's a lot of cool things. So it's like a pickleball, but it's going to be higher, like 18-foot, almost enclosed capture of that you basically hit against walls, and it's literally
It's like a
there's glass
combination
around
of
me, right?
correct.
racquetball and pickleball in one.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Racquetball and pickleball.
It's like 3D pickleball.
100%.
Whoa, that's too
It's
much for me.
somebody's
Somebody's going to sprain an ankle in that place.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, I think pickleball's become like a big new thing. Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the golf of today. To if you guys ever want to play, we'll go there one day.
Hold
I
on.
haven't gone.
I have breaking news.
I've never played.
I have a business idea I just thought of. You ever
Okay.
watch that show on Netflix called The Floor is Lava?
Never.
No.
So
Is it good?
it's a show, and
I feel like
people
I've seen it.
it's adults like 20 to 40 years old, 50
Mhm.
years old sometimes, and the water they have this red water and
Mhm.
they pretend it's lava, but it's
Mhm.
like a ninja course. Like you have to get to the other side.
Oh, maybe I have
But-
seen this.
But I was thinking, what if I open one like an adult entertainment center where it's like it's like a ninja course. You got to get from one side
Listen,
to the
I'm
other.
not trying to break any legs. By the way, that's what Sky Zone looks like. Do you guys have kids?
Oh yeah, I got a
You have
5.
two,
I
I
got a
know.
5
Do you
and
have
a
kids?
3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
3.
So
Sky
many.
Zone is like
So
it's
many.
dangerous. It's like
Yes.
legit. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's the number one cause of broken bones I heard for kids is like a trampoline park.
yeah, your workers'
yeah,
comp
we don't do
insurance
that.
will be very high. I
Well, that's
can
what I'm
tell
doing.
you.
Water.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Water makes it
safely.
better.
or we could do like those foam cubes.
Yeah, only 3 people drowned this year.
Yeah.
Then they have like the climb zones. I was at one time. The strap came on. I'm
Oh,
like, what are
whoa.
we doing with our kids at these
I know.
places? Yeah,
That's
it's
wild.
insane. Like no one could do. You have to be like an Olympic athlete to cross some of these little obstacles that they put in play. But listen, business ideas are fun. I think I've seen a bunch of them recently. There's so much innovation out there.
Yeah.
I mean, floor is lava. What would you call it?
Floor's lava. Floor's lava.
Floor is water.
Floor's water today. I don't know. I didn't get that far. This is a dream.
Still riffing it.
This is
Good
just a dream I had
It's a
last
great
night.
dream. Keep dreaming, guys. Keep dreaming.
Write down your dreams.
Well, I could tell you from experience with the construction company that workers' comp would probably be very high there. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Well, go ahead.
What's the newest project of your construction company right now?
So we have a bunch of additions we're working on right now that we're in the process of bidding and working with the client,
Mhm.
going through the permit process. We just did a couple basement remodels. We have a kitchen remodel. A lot of like open up this area, make it more functional, improve the kitchen, improve my living space. Some people now, since a lot of people aren't moving, are now like, hey, that garage has just been sitting there doing nothing. I don't even know what's in
Storage.
there
It's
anymore.
storage.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get a shed. I'm gonna put a shed on the side of the house, and I'm gonna redo the garage. You want to insulate it, close off the garage door, put a couple windows up. So people are now reinvesting in their home a little bit more.
Yep.
And it's been really busy, even though it's not the best market. People don't have a lot of like free extra cash to be spending. Doing a lot of roofs. That's been a big project. We work with a bunch of
You
investors.
do home renovations?
Yeah, full
Oh,
home
cool.
renovations, additions, everything soup to nuts.
Nice.
We're a great team.
Yeah, people are stuck in their houses. At least they feel like they
Mhm.
are with 2% interest rates.
Yes.
I know I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm another one as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hear you. I mean, it's really, it's sometimes like Daniela will ask me, she's like, do you think we're going to be here forever? I'm like, that is such a hard question to answer because it really depends. Like, I feel like I think a lot more people should consider like retaining and renting
Mhm.
versus selling. Because then you don't lose that rate.
Yeah,
like you
of
still
course.
have it and it's a great asset. And so rents are increasing, right? So why not do that? But the big thing is like people are waiting for rates to come down, right?
I know.
They hear the news and they're like, oh, the Fed and inflation and the jobs numbers, and I think things are going to get better. But NBA just came out with their forecast and they project rates to stay steady for the year. I just posted a video on that. And then next year, they actually predict it could be a little bit higher. So they said 6.1 through the year. That's where they think the average rate is
Yeah.
going to be. And next year, they said 6.3. Now, I don't know how accurate or not that will be, but don't wait, right? I think I've done the numbers a couple times. If there's a $400,000 property, let's say
Yeah.
rates go down 1%, that would save you, or 400,000 loan, that would save you, if rates went down 1%, maybe $3,600 a year.
Mm.
I'm not saying that's not real money. It's a few $100s a
Yeah.
month, but it's nothing to like you're holding back on maybe 5% appreciation to save. So that could be $25,000, $30,000 in appreciation to save 3,600. The numbers don't make sense. Like,
And high income, buyers, let's just say over 6 figures, sometimes they don't factor in all the tax benefits of the
Yeah.
interest on the loan, the property taxes. So you really net out a lot better once you
Yeah.
look at it from a full picture perspective.
Yeah. The depreciation that you can get. I mean, it's huge. We have a lot of investors. I was just talking about for people looking for multifamilies or mixed use. Many people, I think, are under the impression like, how am I going to qualify for this? Like, I already have my own mortgage. I have my second home. I got my car. I got all this other crap. I only make so much. How am I going to afford it? But a lot of our clients are doing what's called DSCR loans, which is very similar to how you qualify someone for commercial. You need to have the down payment. That's definitely a piece that you got to solve for. A lot of clients are taking equity out of their homes since they're like, hey, I'm not going to sell this place, but I would like to use the cash. I'm going to take the equity out of my home and I'm going to go buy an investment property.
What's the best way to take the equity out of your home? HELOC or HELoan?
Well, I think it depends. I think the most popular route is HELOC. The interest only. You can draw sometimes 5 years, 7 years, 10 years on that home equity line. I mean, you got to have a plan because you kind of you'll get stuck with that home equity line before you know it. You're like, oh my God, there's $200,000 on here. The principal's not going down. Like eventually you're going to have to take care of it and refinance it. So that's something that you really need to consider with those. But I mean, if you can put that capital, like there is something to be said about that money just sitting in your home.
Right. All that equity. And, people have more equity than ever, right?
Yeah.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, and the nice thing about real estate is like when you're gaining appreciation, you're gaining appreciation on the value of the property, not what you put into it.
Right.
So I told a story. I bought a 4-unit in Tampa and it was a little over $1 million. I had to put $200,000 down. It was 4 years ago. Rents, I've increased 50% and the property value's gone up about 200,000. But if I compared that 200 to my investment, like that's 100% return. It's not just 5%, it's 100% return plus the cash flow on the property. So if you're debating, like, do I take my money and put it in the market?
Right.
Like if I put that $200,000 in the market, it wouldn't have done as well because I'm getting the appreciation on the value of the property, not just my investment.
If you play real estate right, there's no comparison.
No.
But you have to know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And leverage it.
Yeah,
correctly.
most people who are really, really wealthy, they always are investing in real estate. Plain and simple.
Very true.
What so you do you do any investing personally across the country, and like you said, Florida, any other places that are
just Florida
good right now?
Just Florida and New Jersey, but I think some of the top markets. I mean, I think Texas has a really great multifamily market right now, or Orlando, in the Orlando area is a great. If you're going to buy to rent, I think those are great markets. Austin and the Orlando area.
Do you think that Trump saying like he's going to ban institutional investors from buying single family homes, is that going to pan out? Is that actually a law?
Yeah, I think it's so a lot of people say that's kind of just like him posturing a little bit, like it sounds good.
Yeah.
But I think although there seems to be a lot of that, when you look overall, from what I hear, it's a very small percentage of the overall single family purchases. I think I heard someone say it was like under 5%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like that happens a lot here, but maybe select markets in the Midwest. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of strange that you have these big organizations purchasing up single family homes. I mean, look, affordability is really tough for people right now. You just think about what you have to earn to buy a home today. It's not easy. So I talk to a lot of clients about getting sellers concessions and using the seller concession money to buy down their rate either over the term of the loan or temporarily for up to 3 years, which you could do. So I could get someone into a home today at a 3.25% rate for their first year. I'd have to do it by helping them structure their offer so that the seller is going to pay to buy down the rate for that first year, maybe even that second, maybe even the third.
If the comps are good, you can go above list price, right? And get a concession back down. It works out for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's so many good comps right now.
Yeah.
It's not like most markets prices are flat, or maybe they're up a little bit.
Right.
Monmouth County is certainly up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Buy there before it's too late.
Yeah. It's inventory, right? Is the biggest, I think, challenge in a lot of spaces is just, to your point before, how many people aren't selling right now?
Exactly. So Nicole, we're wrapping up here. What's next for you? do you want to do more construction projects? Do you want to do more commercial loans, or do you mix of both?
Yeah, we're, as we keep expanding, I mean, we're always getting more products, more programs. If you have questions about financing, obviously feel free to reach out. But what's next for us is we're going to be heavy in media, just like you guys, the Billion Dollar Banker podcast, American Dream TV. They're great platforms. If we could ever support anyone that you guys know, or you, if you have an incredible project, we want to highlight these amazing real estate deals. We're doing that beautiful $30 million home in the city tomorrow.
Awesome.
Mortgage is the lifeblood of what we do. I have a great, incredible team. So we're always looking to grow it. And then, it's real estate, right? Like construction, lending, realtors, like it's just, as time goes on, you start to realize like things aren't so binary anymore. You don't have to be one thing. Right. And I think the more people embrace that, the better they'll be. We have a lot of talents, a lot of things that we can do. And if you enjoy it, right? If you have the time and the energy, you should go after it. So
I think
we'll be working hard.
Yeah. I think over time, technology's enabling like the skilled and talented few to do more. So it's going to be like less people in each transaction.
Yeah, I just read actually, I think it was earlier today that AI is saving salespeople an average of like 2.5 hours a day on administrative tax, even outbound calling. I mean, there's going to be we live in the best time ever to be in business.
Yeah,
we really do.
For sure. Well, Nicole, thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Cool story. All right, guys, that does it for Garden State Growth Show here. Tune in for the next one coming soon. See ya.